Hi, Dav here, and today we're doing an overview of a sketch I did last night or in my last art session. And today we're doing almost a full figure thing or full figure piece. I found this on Pinterest, a great resource for references. Sadly, the photo was cut off around the foot, around the feet. So, but then again, this guy is wearing a dress, so that's okay. I did start out this sketch using my left hand because of my recent injury with my right hand, but eventually I gave up because I think halfway or almost halfway, I quit and I started to use my right hand. It's not as fully healed as I would like my hand to be, my right hand side to be, but it's usable enough, and I think you will see a drastic improvement once I moved to my right hand. Like the strokes were much fluid, much easier, and obviously I was much faster. So this sketch actually took about 20 minutes more or less. Even if I was using my left hand in the beginning, it's not bad, especially if we're trying to block in the major shapes or silhouettes. I did have trouble though with the lower part, with the ornamentation with the garments. I did like the way the chest and pretty much the torso, I liked the way it looked eventually in the end. But obviously that's because of my switch from using my left hand to my right hand, but also because when in the reference photo there were so many like gradations of values, because obviously it's the human form is very organic, right? So it was hard to find where to stop the blacks or where to start the whites. So I had to figure that out. But again, if you just push and pull, go back and forth between black and white via trial and error, you'll eventually find something that works. And I do recommend, if you have seen enough like comic book art, just think like superhero art, Superman, Batman, those types of things. Look at the way they do their shadows. They're very graphic too with their shadows, but like you can tell where the forms are, even if like 10% is just in light. Like the way they can just pick and choose where the light and shadows ought to go, it just makes their characters pop, and there is that sense of clarity. Now when you're doing this sort of thing, I don't think, yes, knowing where the light is and where the shadows are is important, but also you don't have to be limited to that concept when you're playing with black and white sketches. So just for as long as it works, for as long as there's clarity, you can bend the rules a bit when you're doing this approach. Because if you're limiting yourself to just two values, obviously, if you're too accurate with it, where you only do the shadows, or where the blacks are just the shadows of the images, it's not gonna look as good. So you want to be able to play around and use your creative liberty to make those adjustments. Sometimes what's in shadow is going to be white, and sometimes what's in light, it's going to be colored or rendered as black. You don't have to do this in black and white only. You can use any other color you want, but I think these sorts of things are great because it really helps you, or these types of studies are great because it really helps you to focus on the big picture, like the silhouette, the shapes, and they're not really focused on like blending, rendering, and even colors are not as important. So as you can see, look at the way I did the abs and the chest. It just makes it pop out even more. And obviously you can see that speed up of like competence. That's me switching to my right hand, even though there's limited like movement in my right arm because of my wrist and even more so my elbow. It's still like way better, and I'm just way faster with it. And learn to be, yes, focus on big shapes when you're doing this sort of thing, but also once you've established the major shapes, then you can be a bit more delicate with it. For example, like if you look at the way the shoulders are kind of illustrated, both the left and the right, look at how the shadows work with you can see the biceps, say for example, in the left arm, right? All because of that simple sort of shape adjustment. So all in all, I did enjoy the sketch, even though I felt like quitting in the beginning. I think it's because I switched to my right hand where I kind of got hope. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So keep sketching, and I'll see you in the next art process video.